She's mean and she smells like cigarettes.
Fuck Nights at Freddy's is a 2023 movie produced by Blumhouse Pictures. The film is based on the popular corporate video game series designed by an animatronic. The film's script was written by an up-and-coming screenwriter, very elusive, named ChatGPT.
A struggling man named Mike Schmidt is desperate for a job to support his family. He stumbles upon a help-wanted ad for a night security guard position at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. He soon realizes that the animatronics are being manipulated by a malevolent force from their past. He learns of a missing child incident that occurred years ago, a tragedy connected to the animatronics that continues to
No fucking way. And has a star-studded cast of Kermint the Frog, Gonzo, Fonzie Bear, Fonzie, and who could forget Freddy Fuckbear. Freddy's Fuck Night is about two things, being killed by Muppets and being torn apart by machines. But one would think that's where the weirdness ends, but oh, they'd be wrong! The film also features Matthew Lillard in perhaps his worst role yet? And that's saying a lot, because he was in Without a Paddle, the worst movie I've ever seen.
You can't outrun that bear.
I don't have to outrun the bear. I just have to outrun you.
And also Scooby-Doo.
I'm gonna cheese body.
What did he mean by this? It also stars some guy named Josh Hutcherson, who was in the Hungry Hungry Hippos movie. Okay, I know I'm talking a lot of shit.
It's just after 10 p.m. This is the adult tour, which means you can drink if you want, and we can say whatever the hell we want.
Cheers.
But genuinely, this movie is being torn apart by seemingly everyone except little babies and video gamers. It's received so much criticism so fast, one might think that it's the thing that could bring this entire Blumhouse of cards down. But you'd be wrong. They've been marketing the shit out of this movie for ages, and much like the video games it's based on, that means it's great. The only thing that matters is the amount of people that play the game series. I mean, watch the film. That's how we gauge what's cool from what's shitty. And cool things can never be shitty. Just listen to these 10,000 YouTube explained videos. You know, in case you didn't get it. A little too esoteric for ya. But okay, maybe we should talk about the movie itself, you know, if that's possible. It's a fucking weird movie. This is the understatement of the year. For a movie that features so many supposed human beings not in peril by giant animatronics, it sure comes across as a movie written by an animatronic. Maybe it was Gonzo. But with the amount of DreamWorks face, he's right behind me, isn't he? What are you gonna do? Shoot me? One might think that the film was written by Fozzie. Anyway, the movie is now streaming on Peacock. Okay, so lining out the plot is difficult, so I will do my best. The film is constantly both too obvious and weirdly esoteric at the same time, likely because no one says or does something any human being would ever do or say, ever, at any point.
We are not eating.
Well, that's no fun. You do realize that lunch is the most important meal of the day.
Josh Hutcherson sure needs money because he's providing for his sister, who he hates, and who hates him. They hate each other.
Come in.
They're mean to each other and smell like cigarettes.
Hate you, Mike!
But anyway, he needs money.
Did you find a job yet?
He's hard up. Everyone tells him this, and also he tells this to everyone.
Media World custodial staff 1 week. It's like you're not even trying here.
This is because he lost his job at a mall for beating up some kid's dad because he thought he was some sort of kidnapper. Also, he's constantly plagued with dreams about his brother who was kidnapped at a young age. He dreams every night, reliving the memory to find some solution as to who took him. Could it have been Kermint? Maybe it was Matthew Lizard. So he talks to Matthew Willard at his office and gets offered a spooky scary job working at an abandoned Chuck E. Cheese. Now this is where things get spooky scary, my lovelies. One night Josh is working and he falls asleep at his desk. Then, in one of the security cameras, the audience can see a cop knock on the door of the building. Oh no, Josh thinks as he runs to the door. Is the policeman going to shoot my dog? But no, she's actually a lady cop who speaks entirely in one-liners and convinces him that she isn't going to hurt anyone's pets, so he decides to let her inside. Once in, she treats him to a beautiful romantic night of exposition.
This place, it gets to people. one of the reasons why you're gonna quit. You also know that your eyes are bloodshot and your heart rate's through the roof. Let's be honest, it's pretty freaking bizarre. You've been acting suspicious since the moment you opened the door.
And even asks him to dance and cleans up his wounds. They share a beautiful conversation about the plot of the film.
But you said some kids went missing?
Sure. Back in the 80s.
And then, just as she leaves, she shoots his dog. Then, on a whim, he decides to let his sister come hang at the creepy pizza dungeon while he sleeps at his desk. But she runs off and befriends a few ghost children that turn out to be living inside some animatronics that also become her friends. Josh wakes up to find them tickling her to near death. He considers kicking their asses, but instead he just gets weirded out and talks to his cop lady friend about it. She tells him that if he ever brings that stupid little girl into the pizza place again, she's gonna have to shoot him in the face.
But if you ever bring Abby back here again, I will shoot you.
She'll be forced to bust around into his delicate skull, which, as you know, the police are legally allowed to do. Josh decides to leave his sister with her deplorable aunt who smells of an ancient death curse. Fuck! I totally forgot that in an early portion of the film, tries to get him fired from his job by paying 4 guys to destroy Friendly Fuck Bear's pizza with baseball bats to make it look like Josh was being negligent, which ends in them all being killed in a bloody passion, never to be mentioned again by fucking anyone. Anyways, so his sister hates him and decides to get even by telling the ghost friends who possess the giant metal machines of death to kill Josh and put his guts all over the place. Put some of his brain on a pizza, she whispers to the ghost boy. Josh barely escapes alive because the lady cop saves him off screen. Then she says that the sister is in trouble and he will need to save her with taser guns. Meanwhile, Friendly Fazbear jumps in a cab and comes over to their house and kills the fucking shit out of her aunt off screen. The lady cop says she can't come along because her dad is the big evil man that killed all the children and likely killed Josh's brother as well.
It's not just their ghosts that are inside of those machines. It's their bodies.
So she can't help him because of a conflict of interest, which, as you know, cops are obligated to do. So Josh steals her police car and rampages down to the Chunky Cheesy. He bursts through the door and starts cracking skulls with his blue electric laser beams of death. But then the big bad comes out, and he's an actual guy who likes to wear a silly little rabbit costume while he's carving him up, and while he monologues and kicks things around. Plot twist, it was Matthew Lizard. He takes a big knife, and just as he's about to carve Josh's well-cared-for Hollywood face off, the lady cop bursts in and buries a bullet deep within his groin.
Come on. We both know you're not gonna use a gun.
Matthew Lizard doubles over in pain, and just in the nick of time, Josh's sister draws a very pretty picture and puts it on the wall, somehow communicating to the ghost children to kill their creator, and they all run out of the building. But in another shocking twist, Matthew Willard gets even by stabbing his own daughter, the lady cop, straight through her kidneys, large intestine, and pancreas all in one fell swoop. Josh is forced to carry her dead body all the way to a hospital, where the movie ends magically without mentioning the consequences for all those that died, how they died, and how absolutely no one would ever believe that animatronics were responsible. Okay, I figure I should actually talk about the movie, and the truth is, I have no idea. I mean, we had just the weirdest thing ever dumped on us, and my takeaway is that it subverted my expectations.
Okay, those are sleeping pills. They help me sleep.
I know what they are, Mike. It's written on the bottle.
I guess I assumed that it was going to work exactly like the video game. Guy in chair watches monitors, but clearly the decision was made at some point to deviate from that entirely in favor of something more exciting. But the way that they did that was just strange. Instead of trying to make the animatronics scary, they decided to make them friend-shaped. Instead of trying to make the movie exciting, they decided to extrapolate the human elements in ways that are both bizarre.
You need to drop this.
I don't really see how that's any of your business.
I'm telling you, you need to let it go.
And boring.
There's a larger conversation that needs to happen here. So when you do get back, you and me are gonna have a little chat.
Like, everyone says everything they mean constantly and devoid of nuance. The mise-en-scène is blatantly highlighted, reminded nearly constantly, and also the art/production design departments killed it on making it feel like you, yes you, were in a chunky cheese. I guess the movie, like the games, asks a lot of you. You have to go in already being afraid of big animatronic kid things. You have to go in being afraid that they might come to life and kill you. They know that animatronics are slow and lumbering and can easily just be knocked over and like lay on their back like cockroaches. So they make them possessed by kids who have like crazy abilities. Ghost kids pilot Freddy like a goddamn mech suit. The whole thing strikes me as that YouTube video of people yelling at the singing Halloween decoration.
You fucking heard it.
It's on tape.
You fucking heard it.
It makes me see the whole thing as absurd in all directions, and I can't tell if that's a good thing or not. Really, at the end of the day, all we're left with is the big question. Did I enjoy it? And the answer is kinda. Sometimes things were so obvious and dumb that I wanted to put my whole fist through the drywall. Unfortunately, my house is made of stucco, so I can't do that without breaking my wrist.
You saw Abby playing with them. And you knew what they were capable of, and you didn't say anything!
Mike, please just...
Abby is in danger!
But other times I thought the movie was kind of hilarious in an absurd way that makes me wonder whether the creatives behind it thought that it would make the movie better? Was this just like some kind of weird director for hire gig? Or maybe they were trying to do something with the movie and just sort of stumbling? At the end of the day, I don't think it matters. It doesn't matter what I think. This and everything surrounding it is so much bigger than anyone else's opinion. That's silly / shitty and means that there's no way to really approximate the situation that we found ourselves in. After 25 years of anticipation, a bunch of corporate assholes have finally made the Five Nights at Freddy's movie that 10-year-olds have been clamoring for. It has everything you could ever want. Dialogue that makes you consider gouging out your own fucking eyes.
You may have forgotten your loyalties, but I assure you, they have not.
Plot developments that make you get all insane, and way more animal death than I think anyone was expecting. That was a joke, by the way. So far, I think this is the best movie that AI has ever written.
As Mike unravels the mystery behind Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, he is haunted by the vengeful spirit of a murdered child.
Fuck off! But it also happens to be the worst movie that has ever been made, so I guess I'd call it a mixed bag. It's not very scary at all, ever. The design is very honorable to the source material, which unfortunately isn't creepy, scary, or interesting either. So it leads me to think that this one is for the fans. Put that in last part in quotation marks. All 10 of the remaining fans. I can't help but think that this is all our fault somehow. Like, we are to blame. When we all streamed these games endlessly on Twitch, did that cause this? What, is there going to be a fucking Phasmophobia movie now? When Markiplier got scared and screamed during this game's like many runs of success on YouTube.com, did that bring us here? Is that why this happened to me? I'll let you decide. But either way, I am going to be checking myself into a mental hospital for a few days to ensure that my brain is going to make it through this. Gotta maintain that cranium structural integrity, lest I start recommending this movie as some sort of bizarre piece of accidental avant-garde art. You know, get a little rest for a minute. Okay, yo, hi, this is May. That's me. This is Nick Spheres. This is the YouTube channel. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. This video goes out to all the people in the audience who have been telling me that this movie is dope. I don't. Anyway, I wanted to remind you perhaps to support me on Patreon, patreon.com/NickSpheres. where I am trying to post an awful lot more content. I have been struggling because I just moved. Like this week, I've been moving all week and, wrangling furniture and a move and a dog and all that shit is very, very taxing and time consuming and difficult. And then at the end of it, I had to watch this fucking movie. So let's go. I also wanted to thank you all for picking up a copy of the book. We are not quite sold out on the books yet. There's like only a couple more copies, but I'm thinking about extending it a little bit more because I still have quite a bit of time until the books drop through my publisher, and I am allowed to print more and sign them. So I might end up doing that if the desire is there. Let me know, pick up a copy of one of my 2 books and, support me in my writing career, like help me buy dog food for my little puppy. All right, y'all have a good day, and I will see you someday in the future, hopefully very soon. Goodbye.